Hello, welcome to another video. Umut here. Today I'm going to work on my art journal and I'm going to create a nice and fun Halloween art journal this time. I'm going to use lots of Distress Oxide inks and Elena's beautiful Halloween images that are funny as well. Links to the images and the colors that I am using today are all down below at the description area. So you can find Elena's images on digital stamps that I used in her Etsy shop. And you will find the list of colors that I am using today to create my background down below at the description area as well. And don't forget, I have online classes that I prepared before that you can find on Etsy as well. If you want to watch like a 2.5 hour long real-time videos to learn art journaling more in detail, they will be down below at the description area as well. So after that long intro and the informations, here you can see I'm using my Distress Oxide inks from color to color, making a nice transition from yellows to up until black. So I started with yellow and then I switched to orange, then a little bit red and pink, then purple and all the way up to black. And the first layer is the first layer. Don't worry, it looks a little bit messy, but I'm going over it, blending more and more all the colors so that they have a seamless transition into each other. I'm using oxides, but you can use normal inks as well if you don't have these. I use these because they have a more creamy texture and it's much easier to apply than the normal distress inks. That's why when I'm going for a full background of inks, I prefer the oxides just because of their ease of application. Just frame my pages with black as well, so that everything is in harmony. There's a nice frame. So to do some background stamping, I reached out to one of my Tim Holtz stamps from Stampers Anonymous, and I am just selecting a couple of background stamps. Doesn't matter, use whatever you have. This stamp set is called Bitty Grunge. I think it's still available everywhere, and it has loads of stamps. That's why I got it, so I can use time and time again. I use my archival ink, and here are my digital stamps I downloaded from ElenaZinski art. Again, the link is down below. And don't forget, when you fussy cut your images, don't forget to go around the edges with your black marker. That makes all the difference and hides all the mistakes or weird cuts. These are not perfect at all, but because I went around all of them with black marker, they look quite okay. After I did my composition, I'm just going to stick my images with matte medium. I'm being careful because the background is oxide and it's going to move with a matte medium. You can use a glue if you feel more comfortable. A stick glue will do really nice, for example. Now that I think of it, it would be better. I'm just using a dry brush as well to go over the images, and I'm being careful, like it doesn't show on the picture, but I'm gentle with all the gluing. And I want this little witch to make a surprise, so I'm going to cut my page. For this you need to have nothing at the back. That's why I don't journal back to back, to have these flexibility. And I'm just making a window opening so that I can hide this little guy inside, so he can make a surprise and try to scare the aunties that are outside the page. As you see, it's really easy, but it adds a lot of interest to the page, making a surprise to someone who's viewing it. I'm just tearing the page, and at the back I'm going to paint the page with black acrylic paint. Whichever paint you have is fine. I'm using Deco Americana because that was the first one I found. I'm just painting it. It's quite quick to dry anyway. Don't forget to stick these two pages together after you finish. And I'm going to paint this guy with a yellow marker. Because the background is black, I want him to stand out better. So I just painted it. I will also go around these ripped parts with black ink so that they don't stand out like with white. All those parts. I'm using again the black Soot Distress Oxide and my sponge. And I think it's ready. After this I'm going to just glue my little witch to the same place, inserting it inside as if he's coming out of the page to make a surprise to scare his auntie witches. And I'm using the sentiments that Elena provided in the stamp set. So there's a boo that I'm going to use for this guy because he's coming out of there and says boo. I'm just cutting this in shape of a speech cloud or something to make it more interesting, not like a square. So I just eyeball it and cut it directly without any direction. I used my matte medium for everything carefully. Even if it smudges, it doesn't matter because it creates some background movement. It doesn't matter so much. And the sentiment became a little bit purple, which is nice so that it doesn't stick out so much white. And from another stamp set of Tim Holtz, it's called Odds and Ends. There is this stamps that have all the holidays like Christmas, Halloween. So I took the Halloween one and decided to stamp here and there after I sticked all my images. I thought it would be nice. And for the sentiment, I'm going to take Happy Spooky Day from Elena's stamp set again because I printed them before. So I'm going to cut it normally and glue it as my sentiment. After I cut it, I'm going to go around it with a black marker as well, so that the edges are not white. I should have done it with the blue one as well, but I forgot. I'm going to do it in another way. I'll show you. So I'll just stick it, and I'll make it a little bit purple as well, so that it doesn't stick out as very white. And I'll draw a wand in the hand of my witch here. It wasn't there, but I'll draw it myself, and I'm going to draw her some like legs and shoes so that she doesn't look like she's hanging in the air. I don't know if you celebrate Halloween wherever you are. I'm in the UK and some people celebrate, but in these conditions I don't think it will be an event where we cannot go out. I wish we could, but yeah, it's still nice to have the feeling and joy of it. So there's something different in our lives. I just drew another black cloud around the boo and gave a speech bubble, so I made sure it's understood it's coming from this little guy. And I didn't I'll just make the eyes more white because they got painted when I was sticking it down. I'm using my white gel pen, Uniball Signo, and I'm going to do the same for the witch's eyes as well. And I made sure there is enough purple on my sentiments and they don't look so clean, so it goes well with the vibe of the page. If you're interested, I have another Halloween art journal video as well where I ripped off the page and did a design. I'm going to link it up in the cards and down below at the description area if you want to watch it. It's from few years back, I think. but it's another fun one that I like. While I had my gel pen in hand, I decided to add some highlights to my images, which makes them look nicer and funnier, I think. I have this border stamp from Limor Weber, Rugged Edge, it's called, the set. There are a few in the same set, and I'm going to stamp it, but it was making some stains with the edges, so I decided to cut them. And this is like some rugged look, and I thought it goes with the page, so I decided to frame my journal pages with this stamp. Having this frame, it gives some sort of definition, and I think completes the picture. I like that I added more black because the visuals in the middle are quite black. And finally, I'm going to add some black splashes as well. I'm using the same acrylic paint that I used before and a thin brush because I don't want big blobs of black. And finally, I couldn't stop myself but reach out for Nuvo glitter glue. You can use stickles as well. This is crystal clear, so it has some shine, but it doesn't have color. It's going to create a nice shine and I think a little bit dimension, which will make the page more interesting. So I'm just drawing all around the page, as you see, because it's transparent. I don't worry about ruining the page. It will give a nice shine, as if like the witches are flying and I don't know, some action is going on. So I'm going to show you how it looks after I finish. When it dries, it will be even more shiny, as you see. I think it gives a nice detail at the background, and it looks more magical because we have witches. I love the page. It was so much fun to create. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, don't forget the links are down below to reach to Elena's fun Halloween digital stamps, and also my other videos that I mentioned. Don't forget to like, comment if you like my videos, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can be aware when I post a new one. Also, you can visit my Instagram for sneak peeks and other things that I'm up to. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.